Wow, we've discovered something incredibly exciting on Pluto that even makes extraterrestrial life seem possible. What is it? Be sure to stick around until the end to see the spectacular original footage of this little dwarf planet, and if you like it, I'd be galactically happy to get a thumbs up and a comment. Thanks so much, and let's get started. Poor little Pluto. I can't help but think about how he was kicked out of the Planet Club in 2006 and demoted to a dwarf planet. Let's get the mood of the discussion straight right from the start. Was it right to kick Pluto out and make him a dwarf planet? Or do you disagree with that decision? Please feel free to share your opinions and arguments in the comments. I'm really curious to see what the majority thinks. But 2006, that fateful year, also marked the launch of the mission to which we owe nearly all of our images and insights about Pluto New Horizons, a groundbreaking NASA expedition to the outer reaches of the solar system aimed at exploring Pluto and its moons in greater detail. A journey to such a distant world is, of course, no easy feat. The distance from Earth to Pluto is several billion kilometers, and the spacecraft had to travel for more than 9 years to reach Pluto. It finally reached Pluto in 2015 and provided us with the first beautiful, high-resolution image of the dwarf planet. New Horizons approached Pluto to within just 12,500 kilometers, and it is equipped with a wide variety of scientific instruments, including cameras, spectrometers, and detectors for particles and radiation, among others. These instruments have enabled us to capture detailed images of Pluto and its moons. This, in turn, enables us to analyze the surface structure and composition of this distant world. And that continues to this day. New Horizons has produced such a massive amount of data that scientists are still poring over it, examining and dissecting every detail.
And New Horizons began taking and broadcasting breathtaking images. Those observations have revealed a delightfully varied world, with ground fogs, high-altitude hazes, possible clouds, canyons, towering mountains, faults, craters, polar caps, glaciers, apparent dune fields, suspected ice volcanoes, evidence for past flowing liquids, and more. One of the most exciting discoveries is the 1,000-kilometer-wide Sputnik Planitia Glacier. Sputnik Planitia is mainly composed of slowly churning frozen nitrogen, and we've never seen anything like it in our solar system.
And one of the most exciting discoveries was that there are cryovolcanoes on Pluto, that is, volcanoes that don't spew lava, but water. This means there must be huge ice deposits beneath Pluto's surface that melt and then shoot out of the ice volcanoes in liquid form. For a nerd like me who's interested in space and volcanoes, this is the perfect topic. But many questions about these Plutonian volcanoes remained unanswered. Are they still active? Are they connected to one another? What energy source powers them? And how massive would an eruption be? And I have good news. We now have answers to most of these questions. A team of researchers from NASA Ames Research Center took a very close look at the New Horizons data on Pluto's Kiladze crater. They describe the region this way: there are no other areas on Pluto that look like this region. It's completely unique in the entire solar system. And what they've discovered about this crater is truly mind-boggling. Hold on to your hats. The Kiladze crater is a supervolcano, a volcano on the scale of Yellowstone, but on a distant dwarf planet at the edge of the solar system. Absolutely mind-blowing. Researcher Dale Cruikshank, who is part of the team, says, "We hypothesized that the Kiladze crater is a supervolcano that, during one or more explosive eruptions, expelled more than 1,000 cubic kilometers of icy cryomagma from the dwarf planet's interior." So just imagine if Yellowstone were to erupt. But instead of hot lava, an eruption would spread a mixture of water ice and substances like ammonia and methane across North America. And now imagine that happening not on Earth, but on a mysterious world at the edge of the solar system. Let's hear no more claims that science is boring. The researchers were able to identify the remnants of these eruptions on Pluto's surface. That's because the average temperature on Pluto is a not-so-pleasant minus 232 degrees Celsius, so slushy eruptions simply retain their shape on the dwarf planet's surface. The cryomagma is ejected and then freezes solid immediately for all eternity. Researcher Kelsey Singer describes it this way: the icy material was likely more of a slushy mixture of ice and water, or similar to toothpaste, as it flowed out of a volcanic vent onto Pluto's surface. It's so cold on Pluto's surface that liquid water obviously can't stay liquid there for long, and the flow of material from these eruptions formed the massive domes we see on the surface, as well as the undulating terrain found throughout this region. And here's the kicker: these volcanoes are likely still active. The researchers discovered this by intensively studying the area around the Kiladze supervolcano. Notably, this area lacks the impact craters that normally dot Pluto's surface, suggesting that an eruption occurred here only a short time ago on a cosmic scale, whose slush ice then smoothed out the surrounding terrain.
Hey guys, quick request. YouTube is currently being flooded with hastily thrown together AI content, so-called AI slop. This isn't meant as general AI bashing, but it does make it harder for human creators to stay visible. This video here is not AI slop. It was researched, written, and produced by hand by several people who make their living from this: an editor, a video editor, a marketer, and myself. If content like this matters to you, your subscription helps us tremendously. Every subscription to the channel ensures that we can continue to put time and energy into real, carefully crafted videos. Thank you so much, everyone. And now, let's continue.
The research team estimates that the last major eruption occurred 100 to 200 million years ago. Geologically speaking, that's not very long ago. Does the word geologically even make sense when talking about processes on Pluto? Or should we say plutologically instead? And given the relatively recent activity of the ice volcanoes, it's entirely possible that they will erupt again in the future. In other words, we're now relatively certain that there are active ice supervolcanoes on Pluto that periodically blanket the surface with water, ammonia, and methane, a pretty good mix for life. Of course, such life couldn't survive for long on the surface, but underground, in warm caves powered by the energy of the volcanic system. Absolutely possible. And as bizarre as it sounds, Pluto is now considered by many researchers to be one of the most likely places for extraterrestrial life in the solar system. I asked the AI what such a cave-dwelling Pluto alien might look like, and I'm very pleased with the result. Feel free to let me know in the comments what we should call this life form. I'll throw out cryofluff as a name suggestion, but I'm really curious to hear your ideas. It's not entirely clear where the heat for these cryovolcanoes comes from. For the moons of Saturn and Jupiter, it's due to the tidal forces of the gas giants, which heat up the small moons. In Pluto's case, we do have tidal forces from its moon Charon, but those alone can't be enough. Presumably, radioactive decay processes inside Pluto also play a role, but that remains a big mystery for now. What is certain, however, is that we have active ice volcanoes on the dwarf planet, and thus presumably still large underground water sources. So once again, the old saying holds true: small but mighty. Of course, I'll keep you updated on all my new discoveries, but that's only possible if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's absolutely free. You'll be helping me immensely, and you'll never miss another galactic video. The next mission to Pluto could happen much faster because we've discovered a cosmic highway that runs through our solar system. Sounds unbelievable, I know, but it's really true. To find out what this highway looks like and who's traveling on it, check out the video below. You definitely don't want to miss it. It turned out to be really exciting. As always, you'll find another fascinating topic about science and space in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, I'd say see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.